Shalom. Thanks for joining me. And as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to be taking a break during the month of February just to kind of get ahead of all this moving that I've done. And it's sort of the unpacking and the arrangements and things like that and the logistics of working with people where there has to be things done on the house. But I'll be back. Now, today I'm talking about flattery, because flattery can be a dangerous thing. Your enemies will flatter you and you get caught in a trap. You'll let flattery, like they say, go to your head, and you'll become a vain person. I remember that song, You're So Vain, I bet you even think this song is about you. you know. But we have to constantly be aware of that we don't get caught up in vainness. And when we think about ourselves and our relationship with Father, that keeps us on a solid footing. And when we compare ourselves to Messiah, that keeps us from wanting to compare ourselves with people and see ourselves up here and other folks down here. Okay. The But we have to constantly be in tune with what we're thinking and what we're doing so that we know how to avoid the flattery traps. Okay. And so that means that we have to stay constantly in tune with the Holy Spirit in our thoughts, our words, our deeds, and especially in our associations also. So I'm going to tell you about when I was looking at assessing some areas of flattery. All right. When my husband was living, before I'd leave the house, I would always ask him, how's my hair? That was before I started wearing wigs. Okay. And my hair was starting to thin out right in the middle. And so I had some comb over kind of things that I could do, either taking it all up to the top and kind of squishing it around so you couldn't see the little part that was in there, or either doing it all this way or that way or something. Okay. And so I would always ask for, I said, how's my hair? And I wasn't looking for flattery. I was just trying to avoid being a distraction to others who might start to wonder about my hair, or lack thereof. Okay, instead of focusing on my conversation. Sometimes people can have things and they talking to you, but you so much looking at a big mole or pimple or something like that. But I ain't want my hair to be a distraction, and I was a little self conscious, while I was looking in the mirror. But when I leave that mirror, because I'd always have to look backwards because the part was up here. Um, and then I would rarely think of it during the day, because once I've gone away from that mirror in the morning, I hardly ever thought about it. And so at this point in time, I was in a hair regrowth phase. Okay, but now I don't know what's going up there underneath this, because that I can, do some comb overs or something, but um, it don't work as well as it used to work. Okay, so I had back then I had a thinning spot that was starting to fill back in with hair, and Floyd would tell me if the spot was covered. And sometimes his comments would send me back to redo the comb over while looking backwards in the mirror. In times past, he might have said, well, I guess that's the best you can do with what you got to work with. Okay. So, but anyway, I was generally able to do a pretty good job with the comb over, so it looked like I had naturally growing hair in the spot. Okay. Now, back there during them times, so sometimes I just didn't have the incentive to do a concentrated procedure on my hair. So I just leave it be when I was around the house. Now, Zoe then, at the time, she was a teenager. And let me tell you about Zoe. When Zoe get up, she dressed nice every day and combs her hair every day. Okay. And so she would pass by me, and sometimes my hair, because it was missing in the middle, and when I sleep on it, and sometimes it would be sticking up like this. And so she said, so I see you just don't care about your hair today. Mm-mm. I see we're not doing our hair today. Okay. And this is leading somewhere. Okay. So one Friday I was working at home and working outside in the garden. And it was a no dress up day for me. Okay, and a no dress up day for me was I just threw on something, an old t-shirt or something, and just, went out, and I was out just happily working in the garden. And so about mid morning, I came back in the house and I passed by a mirror and I nearly jumped when I saw my reflection in the mirror. The hair of both my sides of my head was sticking up with the spot. It was clearly visible and I had been outside. Okay. And so if you think about the stereotypic clown that, had a ball in the middle and the hair puffed up all around it, that's what I look like. Okay. And so I stomped into the kitchen where Floyd and Zoe were standing and demanded to know why nobody had told me how I was looking. Okay. So Floyd turned and he walked out the room because like conflict, he said he had nothing to do with that. So he removed himself from the conflict area. So I stood there looking at Zoe. And Zoe stood her ground and just looked at me and she cracked a little cynical smile. She didn't say nothing. But her look said, now hold up a minute. How are we going to know the difference between when your hair is jacked up because you're unaware or is jacked up because you don't care? Okay. With this background, I felt confident that I was not a seeker of flattery. However, like I said, you have to all the time be assessing yourself. So the teacher made me because Arthur had been teaching on flattery, okay, and at that particular time, it made me reconsider whether or not I was a seeker of flattery, and I got ready to say no. Then the Holy Spirit brought to mind one of my recent Facebook posts, and it was a photo of me and my dentist showing off my new dental bridge, okay. And I didn't think about warning and attracting flattery when I posted the photo. But when I really thought about it, I was soliciting flattering comments. And that was a wake up call. I took down the post and stopped trying to figure out how many likes I got and resolved to be more discerning about what I post and consider what kind of responses I'm inviting people to make by asking for a like. Just think about the things that we do. There's always room for improvement because we're human. And there's always a need for self-assessment. So I hope that you will do that. And like I'm doing, that we're improving moment by moment and day by day. Thanks so much. And I will see you in March. Shalom. Remember to like and share and subscribe if you haven't. Shalom.